We respectfully request the Sangha of great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tịnh duyên nhiều pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liễu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tước chứng vô sanh. Excuse me. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đàn Thổ Sư Chế Đô Ye Ở La Hờ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tát Rắc Tha Tô Già Đà Già A La Ha Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Tọa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng she wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu. 我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Qingliang, Great Master Shenhua, all monks and nuns, and all good advisors, Amitabha. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Tăng Lương Đại Sư, Hòa Thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, Chính Nhãn Đại Sư, Sư Phụ Sang Rần,各位出家人，各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Hello everyone, thank you for coming. Today is the 10th of December 2021. We gathered here to continue discussing the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra, authored by Master Qingliang. It's a rather profound teaching, and this is something actually that I look forward to, because when we train you Chan, we teach you Pure Land, we teach you mantras, we explain sutras to you, so eventually to bring you to this point where we can share with you the profound Buddhist wisdom, the unsurpassed Buddhist wisdom, the king and the sutras and the sutra here. And so actually there are few people in the world who would dare lecture on this, like Master Shenhua explained this prologue himself, and it's necessary, I feel, if you want to study the Avatamsaka Sutra, you need to study this. So thank you all for giving us a chance to share this with you, because I too am learning just like you as I explain or try to explain this to you. All right, we are on slide number 6. The commentary, let's see, which, okay, they're talking about the requirements of the sutra. This Avatamsaka Sutra is a sutra, and therefore it must meet the requirements set forth that will characterize this as a Buddhist sutra. Therefore, it's something that the Buddha said. This is certified by the Buddhist sages, by the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, the Arhats, and so forth. And that's why this is authentic teaching. And don't listen, and don't bother listening to anyone else, whether it's scholars or any Buddhist and non-Buddhist people who claim that the sutra is not real. Okay, so this is why when we first explain sutra, we want to make sure that we go through these requirements to authenticate that this is a true Buddhist teaching that came from Shakyamuni Buddha. We're talking about a place, okay? The sutra needs to be spoken in a certain place, and that's here. He says Buddha was spoken at a certain country, certain place, actually, and yet there is no countries. And it's because when the text says one fully speaks of relying on the truth, okay, fully speaks. This is what Buddhist teachers do. You really are not to me, you really are not a true Buddhist teacher unless you use expedience. Okay, meaning that there's a certain level of wisdom that you need to have before you are able to efficiently use expedience in order to teach living beings. What level are we talking about? Are we talking about what? What level? This is why unless you reach that level or higher, the teachers really can't really solve your problems at all. Very clear in Buddhism, the solutions provided are rather limited and not being able to solve your needs and your problems. What level are we talking about? In Buddhism, very clear. In Buddhism, if you want to be able to have the wisdom or practice, use the expedience to teach living beings, this can only start when you're at anyone. Come on, you should know this. This is very Mahayana. We're very precise in our criteria for what constitutes what. So it's not haphazard at all. Conk, what level?
As far as I remember, I think you mentioned that 8th ground Bodhisattva.
8th ground Bodhisattva. Okay. Do I hear any higher? Do I hear any lower? Anyone else? Wei Mountain.
Is not aha level?
You know what you're talking about? Okay. Anyone else? What level? Come on. It'll be clearer when we get to the grounds chapter. Okay. You really are not proficient at teaching. You're not skilled in teaching at all, or are able to develop truly good teaching skills until in Mahayana. Okay, in Mahayana, you need to reach at least 7th ground Bodhisattva before you are able to use experience. Before that, you really don't know how to use experience. Okay. So for you to say, if the Buddha used experience, so I'm going to imitate the Buddha and do the same thing, you are speaking nonsense. You're not the level where you're able to use experience. Okay? So in Buddhism, we don't talk. The people who talk and brag and say, give a real good talk, but actually they're not fooling anyone from outside. Okay? Because we know. All right. So when when we talk about here in our Avatamsaka Sutra, we talk about we falsely speak or rely on the true, which is an experience in itself. The phrase itself, to rely on the true, okay, is actually an expedient. Okay, so true place, because people of the world expect a place to exist. Okay, so we talk about a certain place, okay, is only to help reduce the doubt and meet the expectations of worldly people. But actually, there's no countries. Okay, why not? Because this sutra is spoken throughout the universe. So you can't really speak of any country. Country is like a grain of sand in the universe, and therefore it makes no sense to say this is spoken in the United States or spoken in Malaysia and so forth. It's not the case. It's spoken everywhere, okay, without exceptions. Okay, right. 7. How much the more so when kshetras and dust motes enter each other and defile impure, both blend and fuse.
况煞沉即入，染净三融。
All right. It says, so we're still talking about the concept of where this sutra is spoken. This is what scholars and people, erudite people expect, okay, to discuss. We expect to have a clear definition. And he just said there's no such a thing as spoken in any country. However, we said, spoken under the Bodhi tree, in the entire world, in India and so forth, is only expedient for the people. Expedient for who? For the uninitiated. For the bodhisattvas, they understand better. Okay, so that's why it's a faulty speaking that they mentioned earlier. Bodhisattva knew about that, and therefore they still mention countries for future reference for people like us who are not bodhisattvas. And therefore, we need to know the sutra was spoken at 7 places and 9 assemblies and so forth. Okay, that's for our reference. And here, how much the more so when kshetra and trust modes enter each other. Okay, before this is so Avatamsaka Sutra. The large does not obstruct the small, and vice versa. The small does not obstruct the large. Meaning that at the tip, this is so typical of this sutra here. If you have Buddha's wisdom, we're talking about Buddha's wisdom here, not about your wisdom or my wisdom. If you have the Buddha's wisdom, you will see that you can take the entire galaxy, okay, and fit it into the tip of a hair. So meaning the entire galaxy being very big, and the tip of a hair is very tiny, and you can fit the entire galaxy into a tip of a hair. Okay, so meaning that the big does not obstruct the small does not obstruct the big, the large. All right, and that's why the kshetras, meaning it's the Buddha land. We're not only a galaxy, but we're talking this Buddha land or kshetra or galaxy or Buddha land. Okay, and dust motes. Okay, so they can be indistinguishable. Okay. So you How is it possible? It's possible because these people with wisdom have forsaken this notion of discrimination between large and small. The reason you can't do that is because you still discriminate large and small. Okay? It's so deeply ingrained in us that how is it possible? That's the first reaction. When I heard this, say what? So that's a typical reaction. It's because we still discriminate large and small. That's a proof. And not only that he's referring to, he's also spoken here in this higher world where it's called impure land. And not only is it spoken in impure land, it's also spoken in pure land as well. How do you think these people in the pure land is going to become enlightened and reach Buddhahood unless they learn about the Avatamsaka Sutra? Okay? You can't help it. For you to become Buddhas, you have to learn about the Avatamsaka Sutra philosophy, teachings. Is it clear? So unless you learn about this somewhere along your journey to Buddhahood, you will struggle. Okay? You will not make it. You will not become a Buddha. Okay? So here's what we're doing. We planted the seeds to become a Buddha by listening to this, by just hearing it. All right? This is way beyond your comprehension, way beyond your calculating mind. Okay, yeah. All right. And so they said that people in the world, we aspire to be reborn to the Pure Land is like the best place there is. Actually, to the Buddhists and Bodhisattvas, Pure Land and impure lands interfuse. There's really no distinction at all for them. Okay? And I hope that most of you do not just use my statement and say, in that case, I'm not going to the Pure Land anymore. I'm staying put with my family and my children and so forth. No. It's a different level before you can talk like that. Okay? Don't speak nonsense. So, the organization of the cosmos is very interesting, and you will learn that more in one of those chapters in this sutra. Is there's something called the seas of fragrant water. This ocean here, the water is very fragrant. Okay, and there is from that fragrant water arises a gigantic lotus flower. Okay, and within this flower, they find the countless dust motes of worlds. And that's why it's called flower treasury of worlds. Okay, that's how it's structured, and it has 20 tiers. Okay, so this flower of worlds here has 20 tiers, 20 levels, and each tier has limitless number of worlds. So you see, it's limitless times 13 tiers. Okay, it's still limitless. All right, and our world, Saya world, is on the 13th tier of this flower treasury of worlds. That's what we are. You don't look excited. Okay, let it sink in. You should be so happy. Oh, now I know where we are. I know exactly where we are. Send a postcard home. Hey, Mommy, guess where I'm at? 9. In the universal extension on the perfect teaching, it is difficult to distinguish its separate locations.
圆满照之普周，难以分其处别。
Try to explain this, try to even translate this. That's why we are struggling so much, translating this extremely profound and scholarly approach to discussing the secret, the major principles of the Avatamsaka Sutra. Okay, so there's a perfect teaching. That's the Avatamsaka Sutra. You remember? Even you learn Chan, and we proudly tell you that Chan, highest level Chan, is certain teaching and so forth. Is certain teaching is still included within the perfect teaching. Okay, and therefore, I rest my case. Even if you excel in Chan, you still need to learn the sutra, because that's what the perfect teaching is. That's how you go from an enlightened person to become a Buddha. Okay, so this perfect teaching here, it refers to every single place in the universe. It talks about everywhere. Okay, it omits nowhere, nothing is left out. So we have a survey of the entire universe, entire Dharma realm. Okay, and when you look at the perfect teaching here, that's being that refers to the entire universe. Okay, it's not possible to differentiate different locations because there is no place where is and no place where isn't, and yet no place is without it, and that's called the middle way. Okay, 无在无不在，无所果不在, and that's the state of the wisdom. Okay, 无在 meaning that this, if you talk about a certain place, but particular geographical location, then there's no such a place. Why? Why not? Yes, Orange.
Mọi nơi nó đều là viên dung, nó hòa hợp, nó xen lẫn với nhau, cho nên không có tách rời ra được.
No. If you have wisdom, then wu zai, meaning it's not there. It's not a place where there is. Why not? Because when you have wisdom, meaning that you see everything as empty. Okay, and that's why nothing really exists. The Chinese wisdom says, they tell the Chinese are quite advanced. They teach their children. What do you teach your children, Jun? The two of them, your two 宝贝.
I'm not teaching the baby anything.
You thinking Avatamsaka Sutra? No. We talk a little bit lower level.
No, I'm teaching Thai Chinese classics and then Chinese history.
You should be teaching him this.
Yeah.
小泰, listen, please listen carefully. Okay, 一切都是假的. You see that? And that's Chinese wisdom. You know what that is? Everything and everything is all false. The Chinese are so, when they plant these seeds of wisdom in their children, they said, they tell each other that, everything is false. Nothing is real. That's Buddhist wisdom. And it's not Chinese, by the way. It's Buddhist. But the Chinese stole it from the Buddhists. Okay? But they really are the only culture I heard of that keep on stressing that. And that is profound wisdom. That's the meaning of wu zai, no place where is. Okay? Okay? There's no place where is. There's no place. So far, so good? Okay? Everything You look at everything is false. Everything is empty. It's not real. It has no self-nature. So far, so good? Okay, that's what the wu zai means. It's not there. Whatever you see there, it's really nothing there. It's really empty. It's only there temporarily, and eventually, like our temple is here temporarily. Eventually, the earthquakes will migrate back from the northern west coast down to San Jose again, and we open the hole will open up, and then we'll be swallowed, and there's no more gold forest anymore. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. We're sitting on San Andreas Fault. It's a matter of time. It's not it's a matter of when it's going to happen. It's not going to happen while we're here, but eventually, my disciples will be lax and stop cultivating and start chasing after fame and profit. That's when the earthquake will come and remind them that, hey, and you don't pay attention, we're going to swallow you up. Okay? So that's why, so this place here eventually will be swallowed up. It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. Okay? Will be swallowed up or be abandoned because of lack of water. Okay? And so for many different reasons, eventually this place will disappear. So what you see here is only temporary. Eventually it will disappear. Okay? But people are so stuck on this interval time. They see this temporarily, they think, it's real, but it's not. Okay? Wu bu zai. There's no place where it isn't. Meaning that it's everywhere at the same time. Meaning what? Referring to what? Blue, azure.
Buddha nature.
Buddha nature, the Buddha, the Dharma body of the Buddha is nowhere that it's not there. It's everywhere. Okay, so that's the state of the Buddha. It's nowhere where it's not there. Okay, and don't try to understand what these are meant to do. Is for you just to listen. Okay, and let it sink in eventually. Okay, and wu suo bu zai. Okay. It's everywhere. There's no place where it isn't, meaning it's everywhere. Okay, and yet there's no place without it. Meaning that it's not there, yet it's there's no place where it isn't, and yet there's no place where it is without it. Okay? Meaning that all cases are covered here. Okay. 11. Moreover, the true is not beyond specifics and does not destroy what is relied upon.
然真非事外，不坏所依。
Okay. 12. Commentary. The true is not beyond specifics. The true here refers to your Buddha nature. The only true thing in the entire universe, okay, that the Chinese children don't know about is the Buddha nature. They only know that everything is false. They only know about one side of it, okay? And yet they are not taught. It's not possible to teach them yet. Okay, the Chinese that there's a true thing called the Buddha nature, which is unchanging, which is permanent, is pervasive. Okay, so at the same time it's false, and at the same time it's true as well. It depends on which side of the equation you look at. Okay, that's the middle way. All right, and again, I'm throwing terms at you, but for you, if any one of you dares go, that makes sense to me, I will slap you in the face. Okay, you BSing yourself. It's not possible for you to understand this kind of state. Okay, so the true is not beyond specifics, meaning the true may be true, the Buddha nature may be true. Okay, however, okay, the Buddha nature cannot be without the false, without the temporary. We know that this temple we talked about is temporary. It's only true temporarily right now. But eventually we become false because it will disappear, will be destroyed. Okay? Like everything else in this world will be destroyed. Okay? There comes the end of the kalpa, where the fire calamity will burn up everything, including California. All of California will be burned up. Okay, so think about that before you have a long-term investment in real estate. Okay, I would, when you near the end of the kalpa, I would invest into the Western Bliss Pure Land. Okay, because then you have panic selling, and the property price will appreciate like crazy, and a lot of people lose their fortune. Okay, but we, unlike worldly people, know when it's coming. We can recognize when the end of kalpa, those characteristics of the end of kalpa. You see, that's why you Buddhists eventually, when you're nearing the end of kalpa, which is way beyond a lifetime, okay, don't worry about it. You can leave it. You should do this as a teaching to your children and your family, trade secrets. And end of kalpa, disinvest in real estate. Okay, and go to the Pure Land is the ultimate wisdom. All right, so the true here, okay, cannot exclude the false. Specific is that, like us, this temple is specific, a specific manifestation of certain things that came together. Okay, like it used to be a dump, and then a group of people got together here 2 years ago, and they started cleaning it up. Okay, and then started inhaling a lot of dust so that we don't pollute the air too much. Okay, and then started installing wiring and tiling and piping and so forth. Eventually became this. Okay, and that's specifics. Okay, so eventually this became this, and it's still evolving. All right, so the true or the Buddha nature or the principles does not exclude. It's not outside the specifics. Okay, they both exist, are happening at the same time. Okay, so you cannot say I'm a Buddhist, I have wisdom, therefore I focus on the true. I will ignore the specifics. You ignore the specifics. If you say this go forest here doesn't matter, where are you going to cultivate? Where are you going to come for your chanchis? You see, if you don't come to chanchis, how are you going to understand the true? You see that? So true and specifics are not mutually exclusive. Meaning that if you look a little bit further, you extrapolate it, you say that good does not exclude evil. Evil does not exclude good. Okay? Buddha does not exclude demons. Demons do not exclude Buddhas. Anyone has a problem? Democrats do not exclude Republicans, and vice versa. Republicans exclude libertarians. I'm kidding. You guys are so serious. Oh God, Buddhists are so political. Okay, what is Wei Mountain?
I have a quick question. So under the Buddhas, is everyone equal? Is everyone created equal, or there's I know there's a hierarchy in Buddhism, but at the same time, are they equal, or at the same time, or both at the same time is there's a hierarchy?
It's a worthy question, okay, but worthy of me to answer. I leave to my disciples to answer you. And, remember, we're talking to a person whose ancestors used to be called Christians, used to be fed to lions. So we need to speak to them with the same language. Go ahead. Do Buddhism, we believe in equality? Go ahead, old monk. Be careful now. Let him think. Okay, anyone else would like to help out? Do we believe in equality? Are Buddhists equal? It's obvious, isn't it? Come on, you should give them, the truth. Yes, go ahead. Azure.
I think no equality. We're not equal to master.
I'm sorry?
I think there's no equality. At
So
our
you think
level.
you're not equal? You're better than the non-Buddhists?
Oh, I don't know. I saw the question is among Buddhists, other like hierarchies and.
Are there? Do we believe in equality?
Yeah, we believe in equality. We do, but in practice, there are two different levels, right? There's that.
So are you saying that we really believe in equality, but actually we discriminate like hell when it comes to practice?
It's not about what you believe. It is what it is. Like, I'm not equal to master, no matter what you believe.
Oh, thank you, Lord. We're going to be in trouble. Okay? Yeah, good example. Yes, Orange. Do we believe in equality?
A Di Đà Phật, dạ con rất tin vào sự bình đẳng ở trong Phật giáo. Là bởi vì Đức Phật nói rằng tất cả chúng sanh đều có Phật tánh và ai cũng có thể thành Phật. Đó là cái bình đẳng tối cao. Và về mặt sự thì bất cứ một tổ chức nào thì cũng có cái bậc cao thấp để mà điều hành công việc. Thì những vị xuất gia thì được coi như là cao hơn, là bởi vì những vị ấy có bổn phận á, là phải giáo hóa và khai mở trí huệ cho hàng Phật tử, cho nên tự mình thấy là học trò. Chứ thật ra đó, ai mà tu đúng phương pháp thì người đó cũng thành Phật, đó là sự bình đẳng. A Di Đà Phật.
Master, I believe that we are a big ego, but when talking about the specific, any organization will have the level, the organization from high to low. in order to carry on the work. For example, the left home people, their role is higher than us because they have to teach us, help us to open the wisdom. So we are as students, of course, we are lower level than them. But if you practice properly, eventually all of us will become Buddha.
Okay, well said. Wei Mountain, question. Go ahead, answer him.
Master, I don't think it's equal because the
What?
monk only have to take
No, that's too
250
Republican. Wait. Just kidding. Sorry. Old habits.
Because the monk can only have to take 250 precepts, and the nun have to take 348 precepts. Because it's already that the Buddha already treated women as have more sin than men, and they have to take more in order to keep all these precepts. Not only that, in Theravada, women are not allowed to take full precept. They can only take 10 precepts. So they're not really none.
I'm speechless, and I thought you Buddhists, and you criticizing our Buddhas. Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead, Kong. Please help us out. We have
Hello.
rebellion here, mutiny among our ranks.
I guess we hope that the world is equal, but then in the reality, everybody has different ability, different obstructions, different karma, different blessings. So that's why I guess we are trying so hard to believe in equality, because otherwise the world is too ugly.
Oh, see, you can tell this person here lives in the United States. She uses this type of question. The people in Asia, equality, what are you talking about? But here in the U.S., we expect equality. Anyone who says we don't believe in equality is a bad dude, bad person. Okay, here, of course, the answer from everyone's mouth is, of course, we believe in equality. We are Americans, Yes, go ahead, Azura.
I just want to share that, Thai here, since he goes to school, children's about around grade 1, they start talking about it's not fair.
Yeah.
And then
sure.
and Thai comes to home and start to say that, and I was like, no, there's no fairness. You cannot say it's not fair at home, in our house.
Okay, so your house is unfair.
You're not allowed to say no fair.
No equality in your house.
It's
But it's a Chinese household. American household, we have equality through and through.
What do you want to say?
Go ahead, Wei Mountain. Is there equality? Oh, the old monk is jumping. Yeah. Let's see what Vietnam has to
A Di
say.
Đà Phật, bình đẳng là theo như thí dụ bây giờ nói về cái tánh á, giống như bây giờ vàng rồng là không còn một chút xíu quặng nào hết, thì tất cả vàng rồng đều bình đẳng. Nhưng mà trong quá trình luyện cái vàng thì từ cái vàng 14, 13, 12 đến vàng từ lên thì không bình đẳng. Ý nói là cái wisdom của Phật thì bình đẳng, nhưng mà cái người mà chúng sanh mà có bỏ hết cái vô minh, cái chấp trước, cái chưa có luyện thành vàng đó, không bình đẳng. Cho nên chúng sanh đều không bình đẳng, và chỉ có khi nào luyện tới tối thượng thừa mà không còn cái phiền não nào, không còn cái vô minh nào nữa thì Phật thì bình đẳng. Còn chưa thành Phật thì chưa có bình đẳng.
Very profound. Translation.
Master, I believe in equality because, let's take an example of gold. If it's a pure gold, 100% pure, then it's equal. But we have different type of gold that it's like gold 14, 13, 12. So you need to continuously to purify it. So that type of gold, we cannot treat them equally. So when we talk about wisdom of the Buddha, that is equality. But the human being, living beings, we still have a lot of bad things, like we have ignorance, we have attachment, we have three poison. So we are not equal until we reach the ultimate level of wisdom, until we become a Buddha, no more attachment, no more affliction. Until we become a Buddha, then we are all equal.
Wait. Okay, it sounds good. But let me play the devil's advocate. Someone, which I call a traitor, pointed out that monks only have 250 precepts, whereas nuns have 348. What's fair about it? What's equal about it? Old monk, defend yourself.
Bởi vì cái nghiệp của cái giới tính nó khác, thành ra giống như vàng chúng ta lấy ở dưới quặng lên thì cái mỏ này nó khác cái mỏ kia, nên hai cái quặng vàng nó không giống nhau thì cái phương pháp luyện vàng nó khác nhau. Cái bản tính thiên nhiên nó như vậy thì Đức Phật mới thấy những cái gì. Giới là gì? Giới là khi hồi Đức Phật tại thế đó, những cái người mà tu đó họ phạm thì Đức Phật mới chế cái giới cấm như vậy. Chứ đầu tiên Đức Phật chưa có chế giới ra. Thì những cái bản tính của cái người nữ đó phải luyện tới 308 giới nên mới phi, trong khi người nam á, cái bản tính khác thì chỉ luyện 250 giới thôi.
Very good. Anyone else? You see, with all due respect, Asian monks and nuns, better be prepared for this. You speak Dharma in the U.S., they're going to ask you this. You believe in equality. Why do you discriminate against women and so forth? Why is the Buddha who has wisdom would discriminate against his own female children? Okay? So get used to it. All right? Yeah. And these people are radical too. You say the wrong thing, they will burn your house. Isn't that right, huh? That a disciple of mine who's, who insists on, who complaining about the precepts. Okay, listen. If you're a lay person, woman, you take precepts, you and men take the same precepts. You see? So clearly, Buddha treats you and men equally. That's all. Now, as far as monks and nuns are concerned, none of your business. What do you know? I mean, you say we are different, but you don't know. You are like outside of the fence looking in and say, oh, this is not fair. The monks have 250, women have 348. And actually, it's true. And many nuns complained about that. They said, don't get excited. But once you get to know the Buddhists, monks and nuns, you see that actually the Buddha favors the monks. He gives them a lot less work than us. And so those nuns are traitors as well. Yes, anyone else would like to say anything? Yes.
I was impressed about how this person knows so much about left home person precepts. Remember?
You know why?
It sounds like she's interested in shaving her head.
Yeah, she was tempted. She looked into it and says, no. The Sangha is not fair. I'm too smart. I'm not going to go into this. And that's because she's a woman. If she's a man, we have the totally opposite attitude. This is so cool. We can become enlightened with doing less work than the women. This is fantastic. Think about it. Okay? Yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, and then I was told that women are impure while men are pure.
Women impure, men are pure? How disgusting.
Impure. I was so shocked.
I mean, it's like, it's clearly it's discrimination of the sexes too. Not do we treat you differently, unequally, but also discriminate against genders. Okay? What can we say? What do we have to say for yourself? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm my own disciples in my own temple. I just promoted her too recently. And you think that these people are grateful or something? No. This is why you need 348 precepts. Because you are not grateful. The monks, for the record, my monks never complain about this. Huh? She's talking? Let's mute her. We don't need more aggravations. What?
That's because they're already ahead. They're already on the top. Why would they need to complain?
They who?
The men.
The men are already ahead?
Yes, they're already ahead and they're already on top. So they don't need to complain.
I see. It's not true. It's not true at all. It's true in Asian organizations, the monks are ahead, okay, are on top. But in the West thing here, I believe in the future will change. There will be no discrimination between monks and nuns. If Buddhism to thrive and survive in the West, okay, we will reach a state where we have to rise above the Asian discrimination of men and women, and we treat men and women equally. So her point is well taken. To the Asians, it's sacrilegious to talk about it, but to the West, it's a fair question. Why do we treat women and men differently? And my answer is, none of your business. Didn't I say that already? Do I sound defensive and angry somewhat? Never mind. You see, the Korean Sunims don't have to face this because the Korean disciples are very polite and very obedient. The American disciples are totally unruly. And they like to give their masters a hard time. Wei Mountain.
I'm a little bit confused. So that
It's all started from you. We don't want you to make it any worse.
So I'm just a little confused.
We used to be such a happy and harmonious family. He likes it. Oh, this guy's evil. And it's the first time in my life I suddenly hate evil.
So that means that in Buddhism, women commit more, what do they call it? More bad karma than men, or how does it work?
So as I was saying, in the West, you will find out that the Sangha in the West, I believe, will have no discrimination between men and women like the Asians. Okay, it's because because people like Christian here who complain. It's not fair. Men, women are. We Christians believe, Catholics believe in equality. Okay, you Buddhists are so discriminatory. Okay, why are we going to have equality between men and women? When you become enlightened, there's no more discrimination between men and women. All right? Bodhisattvas are unisex. There's no such a thing as male bodhisattva or female bodhisattvas. And I cite Wan Yin Bodhisattva. Wan Yin Bodhisattva to the Chinese, okay, is female. But if you talk about one yin bodhisattva to, let's say, the Tibetans, actually is male. Would you believe? So I give it to you. I submit to you that how can a bodhisattva be male or female? So are the Buddhists confused? No. Then I swear to God, we're not confused. Okay. How can we explain this? Sometimes we prefer a woman over a man. Like the Asians, we like mothers. We love mothers. And the Tibetan, they love fathers. They love the fathers more. So that's why the Bodhisattvas manifest as a man and as a woman, depending on, remember the Bodhisattva, one yin Bodhisattva have 32 different types of transformation bodies anyway in the universal chapter. Okay, you read about it. Okay, so you see, when you get to the state of Bodhisattvas, there will be no more discrimination between men and women. Okay, why? Why not? Because when you get to that level, the only thing that matters is wisdom. It's not about the sex or the gender or the physical attributes anymore. It's about wisdom. Okay, and that's why at the Bodhisattva's level, okay, you will not have any distinction between men and women. Okay, for example, when you go to the Pure Land, okay, it's no men and women either. Master Shehuan said, you go to the Pure Land, there's men. Yes and no. Okay. Actually, it's no more gender discrimination. Let's call them men, or you might as well call them women. Men like women. Wait, doesn't sound good. Let me take it back. I'm making fun of these Americans. Americans so sex, and gender obsessed. Okay, and that causes a lot of problems to us, happy Shifu and disciple family at Wei Mountain Temple. Okay, so anyway, so I see in the future, there will be more enlightened people here in the West. Therefore, there'll be no discrimination between men and women. Okay, until you become enlightened, you can talk all you want that you don't discriminate. You treat men and women equally. That is baloney. That's not true. Okay, so this is what I fault the Westerners. The Westerners talk too much. They don't know what they're talking about. Okay, now go ahead. Now I don't think we have time to finish today's lecture, but let's take questions anyway. I think I will switch to my Shifu's temple's way. I just found out today. I was reminded today. In the future, I will stick to my script and give you only one question of 5 minutes total to discuss these things. Because I'm running into trouble with my disciples and my sponsors and my, I just lost a sponsor already. Nike. Yes, Conk.
Hello, Master.
And all of a sudden, the Koreans are coming. They hear that we have a fight about men and women. They say, oh, let's watch the Americans.
Hello. So coming from Korean background, I used to feel some fear that my family also is very traditional. And for example, if there's a good food, the man eat first and then we'll eat the rest. And everything is very discriminating. Like women don't matter in the family.
So
and,
now you're criticizing the Koreans?
Huh?
Wait. Am I hearing you right?
Yeah, in Korea. My grandparents are really old-fashioned. The women girl, the girl is born, they don't feel that happy that there's a newborn baby that's a woman, for example.
Oh,
but
they don't give you dowries when you get married?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. I'm not really successful in that area.
Ask mommy. Mommy, where's my dowry? Okay, never mind. Continue, please. And then?
But then-
And now? And now?
After 10 years living in America and coming back to Korea, I see things a little bit differently because men, they're given, from women's perspective, they're treated better, they're provided better, and so and forth. But then
Wait.
I feel like-
Let me tell you a funny thing that I noticed in Korea. Okay, now you mentioned Korea, and you open a new can of worms. It's not my fault anymore. Okay?
Yes, Master.
Korean, please control yourself. Don't get too excited. I noticed, for example, that the monks in Korea are treated like kings. Am I correct, Pom Hyun Sunim? You see, he's laughing. He says, yeah, that's me. Okay, that's why they become monks in Korea. The temple people treat them better than their own family. Okay? And that's what all the Korean nuns, they all told me that. They said, oh yeah, in our system, the monks get all the good things, the good temples, the good food, the good cars, good everything, and we get the leftovers. Pom Hyun Sunim, would you like to comment? He says, oh, I thought I just relax here. Oh, you see? So, Xianan, you don't feel that way anymore? You don't have an explanation for that either?
Well, what I tried to say was, because of that, when the men have problems, like, for example, they're depressed or they're sad, it's harder for them to express about it. Because the society expect them to look like, everything's fine. They have to protect the family.
Wait. Yeah, they have to be strong.
So they have to
pillar of society.
look like they're normal. They look like no problem. They're the good father, and then inside they're not happy.
That's why the Chinese family love to have boys instead of girls.
And the monks have to pretend looking like king too,
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else would like to help out? Any other Korean would like to say something? Because Pom Hyun Sunim refuses to say anything. Yeah? All right. So you see, in Buddhism, when the Buddha started teaching us, Wei Mountain, go ahead.
Master, to be fair, to answer Daniel's question, Catholics are not fair either. Even though they say we're all created equal, but only the priests are allowed to conduct Mass. And all the nuns have to bow down to them and treat them as father.
But the Catholic, they have a good reasons to do that. We Buddhists are perfect. We cannot do that. You cannot discriminate. Just because they're wrong doesn't mean it's okay to be wrong. You're not helping, honey. You're not making amends with me. I tell you that right now.
Well, Daniel says under God, all men and women are created equal, but it's not.
Okay, let me explain to you. And monks and nuns, be prepared for this. Brace yourself for this because the Westerners are very vocal about this. They get very upset about this. You say the wrong things, they're going to be very, very upset. Okay? So please treat this with utmost caution because they will misquote you They would say, extract certain things. You say, you see, these Buddhists are so discriminatory. They don't respect women and so forth. Okay? And nothing is further from the truth. We love our women. We respect our mothers. We love our mothers dearly. Wait. Never mind. So, let's go back to Buddhism. When the Buddha taught us people, he says, you should become a Buddha like me. All right? So he says, in order for you to become a Buddha like me, okay, if you want to go, for example, you want to stop by the heavens first, okay, and so forth, he says, you, men and women, can practice these things to get to the heavens, okay? If you want to become a Buddha like me, you have to take the 5 precepts. You all should take the 5 precepts, whether you're man or woman or child. Not only don't we discriminate against men and women, nor do we discriminate against children either. Think about it. Okay? Not only are we treated fairly in terms of sex, of genders, but also in terms of nationalities. That's a fact. Okay? The Vietnamese take the 5 precepts, so do the Koreans, so do the Americans. Okay? It's nothing fairer than that, because the Buddha says, in order for you to become a Buddha, take the 5 precepts. Do we agree on that? Buddhists and non-Buddhists alike. So far, so good. Do I hear any dissenter? If you disagree, don't say anything. See? Unanimously, we agree. It's the truth. So far, so good. I'm trying to explain my Traitor Disciples to my Traitor Disciples. She's so wrong. So far, so good. Okay. Now, furthermore, there's some people, some men and women, after they took the 5 precepts, they realize, well, I want to go a little bit faster. So I want to become a monk, or I want to become a nun. Okay? Now we're talking a lot more involved. They want to go fast. Remember, the objective. This is, hey, listen. Lay people practice is drastically different from left-home people's practices. We are a lot more intensive than your pace. Okay? At your pace, for lay people, 5 precepts is plenty good for you. However, for monks and nuns, our pace is so much faster, so much more intense. Okay? So that the Buddha says, in that case, you have to take more precepts. Makes sense, right? You relax, you go easy, take it easy, 5 precepts. You want to go faster, take more precepts. That's the logic. So far, so good? Okay. So he says, okay, then let's pick a number, 250 precepts. So far, so good? 250 precepts sounds a reasonable number because it's a lot more than 5. 50 times more than 5. So far, so good? Okay. And then so he gave the 250 precepts to the left-home people. Okay? And that's what happened. At that time, there were only monks, left-home people. At the time, no women were among the Sangha. So historically, that's what happened. We started 250 precepts for the monks. And then the women came and said, we want to be nuns. We want to be part of the order as well. So the Buddha says, well, it's going to be a lot of problems. Okay? So he says, if you want to, just like the old monk said earlier, if you want to become enlightened in this program, you need to work harder than men in order to have the same chances to become enlightened like the men. So far, so good. Now, so he says, I take a number, 348. Okay? So he says, men, because you're there already, seniority, we give you 250. Newcomers, okay? They're behind schedule, they come later, plus they're smaller, they're shorter, and all those things. So we give them 348 precepts. So far, so good. In order to help them get there at the same chance as men. So it's from a Buddha's wisdom. It's not from the inequality in his mind. He says, I want both of you to have the same chance to become enlightened. Therefore, for men, 250, I found is ideal for you. For women, okay, you need 348 to have the same exact chance for enlightenment as men. And the proof is that, okay, some women disagree. Some women, like my Traitor Disciples, says they disagree. He says, I disagree. Never said it to the Buddhas. Yeah. And he says, I will keep only 250 precepts. They're the same precepts. Okay? And they skip the 98 remaining precepts. And guess what? They didn't become enlightened as quickly as the men. And that's why, historically, we're very equal. Well, on the surface, we're not. So what do you want? You want the same number of precepts? In order, you can tell the Americans, the Westerners, that we are a non-discriminating and equal opportunity-minded organization? Is that what matters to you? Or is it more important for you to become enlightened? You see, so that's why in Buddhism, on the surface, looks like we're unfair. Actually, it's very fair. You don't have to observe the 348 precepts. You can skip them. Same thing. Men, same thing applies to men. Men says, hey, we men, we don't need to 348, we do 250 only. And they said, just because I'm a man, I will do only 200 precepts. And guess what? And the women do 348. Guess who's going to become enlightened quicker? Women. So the numbers seems to be unfair, but actually these numbers are from wisdom, the Buddha's wisdom, to have the equal opportunity for both men and women. Thank you. Please control yourself. Don't applaud too loud. We are a serious organization. This is Sutra lecture, very holy topic. Traitor Disciples, what do you have to say for yourself? Would you like to repent?
Thank you, Master. I would like to repent.
Oh, there. We're happy again. I accept you again. Okay. Yeah. So don't panic. I will assure you, everything about Buddhism is very, very fair. Okay. I don't have any problem with the way that we train our people at all. Okay. In fact, if you asked my monks, they are treated more harshly than the nuns. Some are easier, some are more harshly, depending on what I ate for that day. So you see, it's no such thing. Don't be fooled by appearances. This is if I discriminate like crazy, but from a Buddha perspective, whatever he set up is extremely fair, extremely good, that designed to give everyone a fair chance for enlightenment, for liberation, for happiness, for peace and joy. Sounds good? Wei Mountain, are you happy Christian? I mean Catholic? Now, how do we answer this Catholic person here? How do we explain to him we are fair? Okay? We are equal opportunity, okay? That exactly, because remember at some point in time we also said, Master Hsuan also said, Catholicism is also Buddhism. Remember? Anyone remember that? Hey, UDRBA people. Huh? Right? Spy number 1, spy number 2. You all heard that. Master Hsuan is the only monk I heard. I heard it first from him. He says, Buddhism is also Catholicism. Catholicism is also Buddhism. Right? See? I have a second here. Thank you. That's all I needed. Okay, now, Wei Mountain, quickly.
Master, could you explain why only monk can give precepts and not nun?
I told you we're happy already. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil the harmony.
Master, I always have that question, why?
You are pushing it, honey. Okay, can we ignore that for a moment where I calm down before I
You can
say
beat me
something
after.
stupid? Can I answer the Christian thing first before we move on to this question here so I have more time? Hey, people, Google it. So, if Master Hsuan says Buddhism is Christianity, Christianity is Buddhism, and Romanism is Buddhism, Buddhism is so Romanism, so how do you defend that? Why would they feed the Christians to the lions? That's how we treat men and lions equally. What are you complaining about? The Catholic doesn't find it funny. See, he doesn't dare comment on that. Back then, it's equality. Men, women have equal chance to eat each other. Never mind. Okay. So what was the question again? This traitor disciple of mine? Yes? Huh?
The question is, how come only monks are allowed to give precepts?
No. When I asked that meant you should have said, I forgot. You blew it again. Okay, so how come monks are the ones that are allowed to give the precepts, okay, and not the nuns? Let me think. Peter, what do you think? How do you explain that to your wife?
Thank you, Master.
You're welcome.
I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
That's wisdom right there. You got to know when to fall, you know when to run. Okay. So why are monks only allowed to give precepts and not nuns? Okay. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why. Okay, I don't know why the Buddha decided to do that. I'm not a Buddha, so I don't know. Okay? Huh? Anyone would like to help me out? I don't know everything. I'm a man, remember? Wei Mountain, go ahead.
Maybe the Buddha wanted to put different roles, so maybe the men had to give the precepts, but then women can participate in other things at the temple. So I think that's the equality is there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough. How about Conk? Go ahead. Why are men only allowed to give precepts and not nuns?
Two ideas. One is polite one is a little bit direct.
I'm sorry?
I have two reasons. Two reasons.
Yes.
Number one is Buddha said the Dharma ending age, there will be a lot of nuns and not a lot of monks. Maybe because Buddha wanted to give more important role to the monks, so that in Dharma ending age, there will be still more monk. Because there's like so few monks in Dharma ending age.
And so that's
And
why.
the
Then
Buddha gives
shouldn't be the
this
case that we
important
should
jobs.
allow the women to do it, so there's more women doing it, so monk can have more rest.
Then it's more difficult to have monks because they feel like they like you give the important role, so the more monks are encouraged to live home life.
I see. This is how fair to me. Okay. Listen, the truth of the matter is that I don't know why the Buddha only allowed monks to go confer precepts, transmit precepts. Okay, because it's beyond my wisdom. Buddha sees things that I don't understand. So, answer from JMT.
Master, I don't know either, but I think maybe in the future, maybe there a Buddha in the form of woman, then maybe women can transfer the precept.
No, not likely. You are trying to reach out too hard to the women. Unbecoming of a monk to try to kiss up the women. Okay? Don't say that. It's not true. Never heard of such plans in the future. Okay? Anyone else? Wei Mountain, go ahead.
Thank you, Master. I'll take advantage of my layperson status in this case.
Okay.
I didn't know that the Buddha, I don't know what the Buddha said until this conversation that I'm kind of hearing right now. But what I can say, I can't speak for the Buddha, but I can speak for myself. if I were looking to take the precepts and they were available at Wei Mountain Temple, Gold Forest, Jewel Mountain Temple, Jewel Conch Temple, or one of your temples in the future.
Yeah, this guy knows how to talk. I like him.
And a nun were to be offering those precepts, I would receive them gladly.
There you go, from a Westerner's perspective. Of course. You know, if that's the case, you know, to you lay people, you really don't care. But for us Buddhists, for us in the Sangha, we have a certain ways of doing things that will preserve the Sangha for whatever the reasons I don't understand. But the Buddha, when he created the Sangha, he says, there's monks and nuns here. Monks will do certain things and nuns will do certain things. That's my vision of my Sangha. And this is how you're going to serve Buddhism. Okay? So for example, you look at the big picture, and I'm no Buddha, that's why I plead ignorance. I don't know why he preferred to have monks administer precepts and not nuns, and not vice versa. You could ask the same exact thing too. That suppose it's the nuns who give precepts. You know, we should be asking why as well, right? Why are you picking on me? Just because I'm a monk? Okay? And I've been so nice to you all this time as well. So, but anyway, I don't take it personally. Well, I do. So, you see, this is the Buddha's wisdom. So he organized this thing called the Sangha, which is the most democratic thing, the most egalitarian body, spiritual body, okay, in the history of religion, you know, in mankind. So but in this structure here, he decided to have certain things happen, and there's a division of labor where men do certain things, women do others, and so forth. Okay, and to me, I don't know about. Again, it's no excuse for me. I don't understand why is it. Okay, so I can't answer you. Okay, I don't know. You got me right there. I will never forgive you for that. I mean, no. I will forgive you eventually. Okay? But the point here is that you embarrassed me so bad. No. I mean, I'm so appreciate that you give me a chance to show I'm fair and expose my vulnerabilities and so forth. You should make me more humble and so forth. Okay? I admit to you, and so forth. Okay? She drives a gray car parked in WMT parking lot. The only infinity car in the parking lot right now. You know what I mean? Min, you understand? Brother Min, huh? Okay, so I'm kidding, of course. Do one tire only. So the Buddha decided that there's a certain structure called Sangha, and that's how it's organized, and that's how it has survived for 3,000 years. Okay, and I might say that it's thriving in that sense. That it is able to maintain a very high level of standards of excellence. Let's forget about the sexes. Let's forget about who's who. But look at the vision of this Buddha here. He created Sangha thing here. That is, you look at this pure Sangha has been transmitted from his time to Mahakashyapa, to Ananda, so forth, to Master Shenhua. Okay, look at that structure there. It's beautiful. It's so strong. It is so solid. Okay, and it's benefiting so many people. Okay, and you have this huge success story. Okay, and that's why these reasons here are so profound that we don't know, we don't need to teach our people. We follow the Buddha's instructions. That's how it came about. All right? So for me personally, I'm continuing the part, okay, where it makes sense to me. Okay? So meaning that do not take us wrong. Just because the Buddha said so doesn't mean we're going to do it. Don't quote me. Am I being reasonable, fair? Because just because we give you the 5 precepts, you promise you take the 5 precepts, doesn't mean you're going to keep them. We know that. Okay? The same thing. Just the Buddha said, monks will not transmit precepts, and nuns and monks will transmit precepts, and monks will not transmit precepts. And you know what? There are nuns who decided to transmit precepts themselves. It happened. Historically, it happened already. It's happening in this day and age as well. Okay? Why? Let's not talk about generalities. Okay? Because I don't know. I don't know enough. I don't understand the rationale behind it for me to explain to you. I can explain to you the precepts, okay, because I know from experience it's true. But from the fact that the details of why only monks are allowed to transmit precepts and not the nuns, I don't know, honestly. However, let's look at the women who transmitted those precepts nowadays. You'll find nuns that will make Peter happy and proud to be American. Okay? He went home and say, honey, I just received precepts from a nun. Can you imagine? We're breaking new grounds. Yeah, see, look at that. Okay. Now, I look at those nuns who demanded equality with the monks, who says, you monks are inferior to me. I have money than you monks. And therefore, when you come to my temple, you kowtow to me. I walk in front of you. Okay? Because I'm the one who gives you food, clothing, money, cars, and so forth. It's true. I was at such a temple, Chinese temple, when I first came out. Okay, descended from the mountain. Okay, and I saw such an organization. A Chinese temple where the nuns actually she inherited from her teacher who founded the temple right here. Okay. And she stood right there as an abbess, and then she would be the leader of the entire temple, and all the monks kowtow to her. It happens. Okay, and that's the nature of the Sangha, by the way. Okay, we have these rules, but you don't have to follow them. It's the truth. Okay. And the truth is that it happened because, first of all, there's some nun who says, I don't believe in it. And I have more wisdom, I have more power, I have more money, I have more connections than the monks. Why should I kowtow to the monks? Very reasonable. And they're still part of the Sangha, by the way. We don't excommunicate them. The Sangha is made up of all such people. Catholic, are you paying attention? We don't excommunicate people. Excommunicate. Oh, what is it? What's the word I use again? I get so excited now. Excommunicate No, that does not excommunicate.
Yeah, it's excommunicate.
Excommunicate. We don't communicate to them anymore. No, I don't need your input right now, Catholic. Okay, so this Sangha here, you see, it's so tolerant. We tolerate dissent. We tolerate women who don't obey rules, and we still include them as part of our Sangha. And we don't say, just because you don't believe what the Buddha is teaching, you don't follow the rules, you're out? No, we don't. You cannot ask for more equality than that. Even if you don't believe, we still look at you as monks and nuns. Because I tell you this, it's kind of funny. It's very personal too. Okay? When I was at my master's temples, I look at all these people and I say, wow, this is a good monk, that's a bad monk, that's a good nun, this is a bad nun, and so forth. Look at them, okay? And I observed why they got there and what they're doing with their career and so forth, okay? And I found it fascinating that Master Hsien Hoa embraced them all, gave them all a chance, taught them all. He taught all the bad monks as well as the bad nuns, as the good monks, and the good nuns as well. He didn't discriminate. Wei Mountain, go ahead. I sound defensive, don't I?
I think you're
what?
wrong.
I told you I don't want any input.
When the church excommunicates one person or someone, it doesn't mean that you're out of the church. In the contrary, you should be more in church. That's my opinion. Anyways,
You have opinions so often so wrong.
Excommunication just means that you cannot take the Holy Communion because you
said that
not,
you said that Jesus is the first pope. It's so wrong. Peter is the first pope, the same name as my disciple right there in front of you.
Well, so basically means that you just cannot be part of you cannot take the Holy Communion. That's the only part you are excluded from.
They're not excluding anything at all. This in Buddhism, they're free to do whatever they want.
So yes, but the thing is that
You're still not impressed. This guy is impossible to impress. Yeah. So anyway,
it's like, for example, let's say that one of your monks don't want to follow your rules, and he does whatever he wants. He gets out of the temple, but he still remains Buddhist, I'm assuming. So it's the same thing for the church. If I don't follow a good path, then I could get excommunicated.
yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I don't remain Catholic.
It's true. Anyway, time is up. Let me finish the point quickly. The point is that the monks and nuns don't necessarily follow the Buddha's instructions. And what I'm telling you, the only observation I can share with you is that those monks and nuns who don't follow the Buddha's instructions, for example, the nuns who decided to transmit precepts to their own disciples, they're not enlightened. They're going nowhere. That's my observation. Okay? So it's up to you. You believe, if you want to give precepts, by all means, go give precepts and take precepts from the nuns and so forth. Follow Peter's lead. But our Peter, not your Pope. Okay? So it's a free country. You're free to do whatever you wish. And you should never lose sight of the big picture, folks. Why are you doing this? Why are you stuck on technicalities? Are you becoming enlightened? Are you making progress or not? That's all that matters to me. I don't care if you're a monk or nun, or whether a nun gives me precepts, a monk gives me precepts. All I care is a big temple and a red car. The Koreans don't know about that, huh? Oh, well. All right? It's a big picture we're talking about. Don't get lost in the details. The big picture is that whatever you do, whatever you believe in, whatever you spend your life pursuing, is it bringing you closer to the Buddha's teaching? That is, you need to get out of wheel reincarnation. Are you any closer to that? Are you helping your people do that? That's the only thing that matters to us Sanghas. Okay, to me personally. The rest doesn't matter whether you have more money than me, more famous than me. My disciple is more famous than me in Korea, for example. Okay, I'm told. Okay, which is a good thing, I think. The bottom line is that are you getting enlightened? Are you experiencing peace and bliss every day of your life? And does your life have more meaning? Okay, are you helping others? And birth and death, and the suffering, and attain bliss. And that's the only thing that matters in Buddhism. It doesn't matter whether you have money or you're famous. It's irrelevant. It's for worldly concerns. We don't care about that. Okay? So I plead ignorance. I don't know why the Buddha did that. But the system, the only explanation I have is to summarize it. The system will work for 3,000 years. It works very well, okay? And you are free to ignore that. It's okay too. But I found that when we follow the Buddha's instructions, we are pretty strong. We are pretty successful. I feel that, they're case in point. The people that I admire most in this world are actually Buddhist monks. It's the truth. It's the Buddhist monks that are incredible people. All right. A close one. Every time here in the West, Asian people, you come here, you better be prepared. They always ask you this, and they get upset, and you say the wrong thing. They at them, oh, you are sexist, you are discriminatory, you are bad Buddhist people, I'm never coming back here. And that's how Americans are. Okay, it's just the way life here. Okay, and you have Traitor Disciples too, who drives infinity cars. No, it's a fair question, by the way. I really, Tua, I forgot her name already, Tua. It's a fair question. I'm glad you asked, because someone has to ask, and we need to explain to people that the things we don't understand, okay? And if you don't believe in it, don't do it. There's nothing wrong with it. I have no problem with it. If the nuns want to give precepts, go ahead and give precepts. What do I care? Huh? They do. Yeah. They do, you see? Yeah. We have a temple for you to go to. Wait. It sounds bitter, doesn't it? We have temples that we hope you don't go to. But in the end, I still like Tua a lot. Without the car. Okay, thank you. You see, this is what I feel that what Buddhism is about. We should discuss things openly, and we don't always have all the answers. But unless we are willing to discuss it back and forth, Buddhism will be still Asian, because Asians are too polite. They don't dare ask tough questions, and don't dare to antagonize the master. My temple, I'm proud to say, that we are a lot more Asian than most. I mean, most of us are more Asian than most. Some are more Americanized. All right? And so, it's funny because can you imagine I invite a guest monk over, we invite a guest monk over here, and then you have Tua in the audience. Say, can I ask you a question about precepts? Boys and girls, if we have a guest monk or nun, okay, make sure that we tell Tua to go hiking. I also remember when I was at Master Shewa's temples, and the Westerners, and they come to our temples, and they wanted to ask these types of questions. And Tua feels free, he's entitled to ask for some reason. And they would walk away disgusted. He said, you Buddhists are so sexist, are so unfair and so forth. Okay, it's because we don't listen to them. It's perfectly okay for them to say that in public as well. It's not fair. Okay, because we're not afraid of it. I feel personally like my Korean disciple, beloved Korean disciple, who's more American than Korean, is that it's nothing wrong with it. Okay, but on the other hand, the Buddhism has things that work for you and things don't work for you. Just pick and choose whatever you like. But you're free to try them, but never forget about the ultimate goal is to end birth and death and end suffering so that we can help others do the same. That's a big goal. That's why we are Buddhists. That's why, in particular, why we're wearing these clothes, because we hope to do that. We want to do that. That's our end goal. All right? So I hope someday, and I appreciate the question, I appreciate candor. I hope someday, I promise you someday, I hope to be able to answer that. Okay? If I don't, I hope that future people, future monks and nuns will be able to answer that. I really do hope so. Right now, I don't know why. It's all I can tell you. Okay? I hope someday I will understand why. Because I personally truly believe in the Buddha's wisdom, because a lot of things he did, that I don't have any clues why either. I'm not going to help to accept, bring those questions up either. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Is it hot here or what? I feel like I've been taking a bath all evening.